Rhett Palmer.
The mayor of the airwaves is ready to go. Talking to people you want to know.
Face to face.
One-on-one. Get the story and have some fun
With Rhett Palmer.
And now, the most trusted name in radio, Rhett Palmer, the mayor of the airwaves.
Good morning, Mr. David Walsh.
Good morning, Mr. Palmer. How are you, sir?
How are you? What you brought in here, the New York Post today. So, fentanyl. Yeah, that's the real curse. New York Post talking about fentanyl today. And
It's a woman who lost two daughters, one to fentanyl and one to an illegal alien. So, things are really bad. They can only get better from where we are now.
she lost another child to who? To fentanyl and then to an alien?
To immigrants, they're aliens.
Yeah, and they've been causing a lot of mischief.
Well, they killed her daughter,
Jeez.
if you call that mischief.
Yeah, wow. Why are these immigrants, why are so many immigrants seem to be involved in murders and stuff?
Because they're not screened. They could be mentally unstable, which is true.
Well, that's what Castro did. Remember years ago when Carter was the president? And Castro was hee, and all the way he was sending up the people in his prisons. He said, hey, we won't defeat them anymore. Send them to the USA. And all the mentally incapable from the mental institution. Send them all up here. Remember?
I read somewhere there was a 22-acre facility in New York for the mentally ill,
Yeah.
which is now empty. A 22-acre facility, and now it's empty. And the people are on the streets instead of in the mental institution, which they belong. There's another fellow yesterday. He slashed 5 people indiscriminately in New York. I wouldn't go to New York for anything.
Right now? No way.
You're just. I went to New York one time, and this young kid came up to me. He said, "You want a shoe shine?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" So he gave me a shoe shine. He said, "Okay, that's $10." I said, "Well, $10." He said, "That's what it is." Now, then 2 of his friends showed up. "Give me $10."
So you gave it to him?
What are you going to do?
Well, he did shine the shoes, and you were stupid not to ask the price.
Oh, yeah, I was stupid. I'm not like you. You would have been right on the ball.
Well, maybe I'm cheaper than you, but,
I know you're cheaper than me. You are the cheapest man I know.
Baloney. Oh, yeah? I may be frugal in some areas, but I give away a lot of money.
Really?
Maybe you don't know about. Yeah, Bucko. I bet you I give more than you do. You been giving away any money lately?
Yes.
Good.
Too much.
You're too much. Well, you haven't been giving it to me. I don't know who you're giving it to.
The
Outside of your family?
The needy.
That's good. How do they find you?
They know me because I've done it before.
Uh-huh.
The Source, the Salvation Army, Boys Town. You go on and on.
Yeah.
In fact, I have to curb my instinct to contribute to these people. Otherwise, I'll go broke.
Uh-huh. Well, once you get on the list, then they call you.
They call and they write and they text.
And you're a sucker.
Well, I guess the sucker written all over my forehead.
Yeah, there's a sucker born every minute, right?
Yep. That's the guy from Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Bridgeport. What about Bridgeport?
That's where a man had said that.
What?
Barnum, C.T. Barnum.
Come up a little closer to your mic, would you?
Barnum.
Hey, Noah, did you put the air conditioning up? And also, could you put his mic closer?
No.
He's playing the quiet old guy today.
Are you hearing me okay?
He's not even listening.
He's not
He's
listening.
in there playing Dungeons and Dragons.
No, I'm not. Shut up.
No,
It's incredibly insulting when you insinuate I'm doing something that I'm not.
no, is my voice all right?
Stop being disrespectful.
Okay.
No, is my voice all right?
Yeah. This is my friend, my new hair cutter here. This guy's a barber in town here.
Uh-huh.
And your name is?
Justin.
Hey, Justin. I'm going to put your mic on here.
Okay.
Justin is visiting. Sit right there if you would, Justin. So, Justin, tell us about your new salon there, your new barbershop.
Oh, the barbershop. Yeah. We're at the corner of 12th and US 1.
Near Staples.
Yes, sir. Right
Yeah.
near Staples.
And since your guy Frank went out of business, you might want to try it over there. Matter of fact, right now you could use a haircut.
He always does things for me.
This is David. He's 97, still runs this real estate firm, goes in there every
Really?
day. He looks a little disheveled today, usually. You know,
What do
usually.
you want?
I'm Justin, sir.
Justin, yeah.
Justin, nice to meet
And
you.
Justin is in here. We're on the air, just so you know.
All right.
Justin is in here today. Noah, Justin's in here because he does a lot of videotaping. I wanted him to see the cameras we have. That's one of the cameras. I don't know where there's another camera right there, and we need to upgrade because the big thing now is
Video quality.
yeah,
Yes,
YouTube and everything. You know.
very much. So.
What'd you say? I don't know. We'll find out, won't we?
It doesn't look bad.
No, it doesn't look bad,
No.
does it?
No, not at all. Wow.
But one thing I do miss, we used to have a camera up there
Okay.
looking at me, and I liked that view. And we had one up here, which captured all three people down here, and I liked that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and then there's that new little unit you can buy. I've seen it for sale. I think they even had it in Time Magazine, a full-page ad. It's $299, but it's a video thing. They have one out at the churches here, and you look very professional. You know, it looks kind of like this.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You've
Yes.
seen it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I used to own one actually,
Oh,
where
you
you
did?
can switch cameras straight from
Yeah.
the push of a button. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which I think would make us look more professional.
It might help too.
You want to look professional at least. I mean, that's,
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
It's a nice setup you have here, though.
yeah. My wife designed this.
Yeah, very nice.
Didn't she do a nice job?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can spread the word. Hey, make friends with a local barber because they can spread the word. Yeah, we lease this out now. We have about 5 or 6 other shows that come in here. They rent the studio to do their podcasts, and some of them we actually put on Vero's Voice, our podcast and our radio and stuff. So
Awesome.
yeah, so you can spread the word.
Yeah, for sure. I am. I didn't even know where this was located at first. I pulled up. I was like, wow, this is nice. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll have to tell the guys back at the shop and the clients when they come
You
in.
never know.
No, I would have never. Oh goodness. Well, I have to get back to.
I know you do.
Yeah, I got a client coming in about.
Take a walk all the way
15
back to the kitchen and come out. So at least you've get an idea of the
Yeah,
little
of
place we
course.
have
I
here.
will. I appreciate
Hey,
you.
Justin, thanks for coming in.
Great seeing you.
God bless you, man.
Justin,
Very nice meeting you,
just
sir.
Thanks for showing
tell
up.
everybody where your location is.
Oh yeah, what's your location over here? That mic.
Goodness. The corner of 12th Street and US 1, right next to Staples and Dollar Tree.
Next to Staples.
Mm-hmm.
It used to
Are
be
you
a-
in that plaza? Or are you
Yes,
in
sir. Yes, sir. So we have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barbers there,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and we do just about every haircut. So
Oh, do you sing like Perry Como?
say again.
Well, Perry Como was a famous singer,
Oh.
and
He
and the
started
circuit-
off as a
Oh,
barber.
I
He's-
definitely
he-
can't
he
sing.
start-
Put a
he-
penny in your pocket, Lamana.
Singing is not my forte.
He started off as a barber.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
He
All
became
right.
very, very famous. He had a really smooth voice,
I have to look him up. Yeah.
Perry
All
Como.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll take a
So-
walk and back and check it out.
He's a former Marine, right?
Army.
Army.
Yeah.
Former Army.
Yeah.
Served our country over in Afghanistan, right?
Yes, sir.
God bless you, man. God bless you. So anyway, yeah, that's the guy who's been cutting my hair. He's been doing a good job, huh? Trimming my beard, cutting my hair.
Uh-huh.
Over there near
Yeah,
Staples on
yeah,
US
actually, you look pretty good. That's,
You sound.
well, I
You
was
sound like
I was a little disturbed that it was getting overgrown. And I didn't lose any sleep over it, but I was a little disturbed about it.
So
And
I
now it
think
looks very
You
good.
need to go see Justin today. You really do need a haircut.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what time do you want to go to Justin's today?
I'm not going to go to Justin's. You're not going to tell me where to go. I go
was
where I
gonna-
want
was
to
gonna
go.
buy you. Hello, this is Rhett. I don't know. People calling them. What is it with these people that call you now? Then they don't say anything and they hang up. They're trying to.
They're weird people.
Remember when we were young, though, the weird calls you'd get that might be like breathing. I remember my mother got a call and she went, you know, hey, Justin.
Hey, I love your collection of guitars.
Oh, thanks.
I love them.
I really wish you played that little one in there. That's got that button you press and it gives the big chorus.
Oh, yes, yes.
Have you ever played one of those?
No.
It's worth it to go back there. Put it on just for a second.
Yeah.
Press the chorus button, turn it up, and it's really wild. I used to have a whole sound system when I was younger, you know, playing in nightclubs and little restaurants to have that sound. Try it. Yeah, I just got that. That's the, I think it's a Yamaha, isn't it?
Okay.
I'm not sure what it is. The burgundy one. I just got that. No, not this summer. Last summer. Well, the music store that I bought it in was in not in Burlington, Vermont, not in Stowe, but the capital of Vermont. And then I forget the town. Right. Anyway, so after all these years, I go up there, and every year I'd buy a guitar or a ukulele or a gitalele. I really like my guitar. Well, gitalele, actually, I got a melody music here. But anyway, he and I fast became friends, and he's had some celebrities stop in there, and we would play music. And anyway, so he decides to sell his music store after all these years. Well, it closes up. Actually, a clothing store moved in there. 3 months after he moves out, that's when they had the summer. They had the floods, and they were up 6 foot up on the walls.
Wow.
All these businesses in downtown Port. Hey Noah, can you quickly find out what's the capital of Vermont? Montpelier. Montpelier. That's it. Montpelier.
You answer your own questions. It's amazing.
Well, as soon as I know that he's going to find it, then it comes to me, you know.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'd be groping all day long.
Because you don't want to have him outwit you.
And here, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Have a great one.
Hey, you too, Just. Thanks for coming over.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you keeping your word. See, I wondered if he'd really come, and you know, because in today's world, see, I knew. I said, Rhett, he's a military guy. He will show up. He's learned. He's learned what do you call it, disciplines. And stuff.
Right.
Very nice young man, 36 years of age.
Uh-huh.
I think he's engaged to get married. Anyway, but I just happened to be driving by the barber shop one day over near Staples, stopped in, and did a great job. So
Got 5 barbers. He must be a busy
5,
place.
yeah. Well, he takes his time. He does the shaving, the little thing here. He does it real special. I mean, and not super expensive either. But they go. There seems to be a whole grouping of young barbers that have popped up in this generation, and they're really into it. Down in Palm Beach, sometimes I'll get my haircut, and they're from the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico or Cuba. For some reason, these Spaniards, and they are so meticulous. You know, they don't even teach in America how to use a razor, but where they come from, they're taught how to use the razor, and they do all this little stuff around the ears and little stuff up here, and everywhere. So you'll really look, clean.
How much does it cost?
I don't know. I think he charges me. like $15 to trim my beard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe an extra 10 to do the hair and the beard.
Uh-huh.
Very reasonable.
Uh-huh. Well, if they're professional, really professional, it's worth it.
It's referring. They don't even teach them. So when I go up to Vermont, matter of fact, in Burlington, I also go to some Spaniards up there. I think they're from Cuba, but or Dominican Republic. I don't know what it is with the Spaniards, but they're very nice young gentlemen, and the same thing. They're real picky-yoon about using the razor and all that stuff and the trimming.
I brought up on Italian barbers, always
Yes.
Italian
Yeah,
barbers.
me too.
I was in Germany, and I had to get a haircut.
Uh-huh.
I said, "This is not an Italian."
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
I couldn't figure it out. I mean, this is unusual. There's a German barber. I couldn't figure it. A man I know is walking down the street in Rome.
Yeah.
And he hears these 2 black men speaking in Italian. He couldn't believe it. He turns around
What?
because they grew up in Italy, and they spoke Italian. But it was a shock, a culture shock, because he's used to the American black lingo.
Well, it's the same thing as when you go to England. And you get, I mean, the people of that, you ever notice the people that inherit a lot of money? Well, it used to be, and that foul generation that's all dying off now. They used to, they'd come into some money and inherit the money or whatever, and suddenly they'd call to the British accent, oh, darling, let's get together and play 9 holes next Friday,
Well,
So they come over for some Dover soul.
well, I'm watching a British movie. I find it difficult sometimes to hear what they are.
You know, what I do is I put on the little CC where it types it out.
Yeah.
And that helps, particularly the Irish.
Yeah.
Because everybody was over there to see me dad.
Yeah.
That's the only word I know, dad, which means dad.
Uh-huh.
My dad, what do they call the cops over there? Anyway, but I love watching foreign films like that are shot in England, particularly in Ireland, because they have these little trucks and these little cars, and they live on little islands, and they have little towns with little pubs, and that's the quality of life. They have a totally different pace where individuals are celebrated and respected, and
There's a author you should read. Her name is Tara Wright, and she writes Irish novels, and she writes in the first person, the third person, and she is the detective, the male detective, even though she's a female writer, and she does an excellent job. Extraordinary.
She writes like a man, and Nicholas Sparks writes like a woman.
Yeah.
And he's been in here 3 times. He's been on my show. Also, Clive Cussler was on my show years ago. And you would think with that techno-pop stuff that he does, that he would, it would be for male-predominant audience, And it's a female-predominant audience.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, no, not predominant, but, 50 to 60% of his readers female. Clive died, though. Clive Cussler died.
He did?
Yeah, he died a few years ago. Mostly everybody that's been on my show is dead.
I thought he was over at the book center not so long ago.
No, not Clive Cussler. If he is,
oh,
let me know.
no, it was DeMille.
Oh,
DeMille
yeah.
was over there.
Yeah.
Have you ever interviewed him?
Yeah, on the phone.
Uh-huh. God, you don't miss anybody, do you?
They've all been on the phone
Uh-huh.
because they know that talk radio sells books.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You guys feel free to go back into the kitchen and have some coffee and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Make yourselves at home.
So that's my replacement.
That's your replacement. At 10 o'clock, yeah, we're replacing you.
You're going to throw me out at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we're going to throw you out at 10 o'clock.
Well, at least I know. I mean, I know where I'm coming from.
And I'm not going to throw you because you always leave on me at 10 o'clock, even if I don't have somebody else booked. You're up, 10 o'clock, I got to go.
Oh, yeah, well, in other
No,
words...
what will you do today? Will you go to your office after you leave
Yeah,
here?
yes.
That's pretty good for 97, don't you think? If you know you were going to live this long, would you taken better care of yourself?
Uh-huh. I'm surprised I did, considering the way I took care of myself.
Well, you smoked when you were younger,
I stopped smoking when I was 30 years old.
and then you were
That was
overweight
that.
till you were 70.
Yeah.
Came to Vero Beach, started working out.
See, and this overweight, I dropped 25 pounds, right?
Yeah.
So my heart says, hey, this is a breeze.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to have to pump up enough blood for this jerk to exist when he was 225. Now he's 180. Well, that's great. 35 pounds I lost.
Yeah.
So the heart says, hey, this is easy.
Well, I got a bad statistic this week.
What was
Everybody
that?
talks about smoking.
Uh-huh.
3 times as many people die from diabetes and obesity.
No. Well, I certainly
Why
wouldn't
why
worry.
are you rubbing your neck? You seem to be
Because
sweating today.
because I'm perspiring at my neck, and I
Why?
asked the doctor, and
Yeah.
the doctor said, There's probably some medication you're taking.
That happens to me lately when I go into a Home Depot or a Lowe's. I don't know what kind of lights they have in those places, but Barbara wears the tool belt in our house, and she's a real fixer-upper and all that stuff, you know. So, I mean, constant, you know. And we go in there and I say, "Sorry, I got to leave."
She wears a tool.
The tool belt.
Get out, Barbara.
Yeah. She has power drills and everything, man.
No.
Yeah. And in case you don't know Barbara, folks, she's 5'2". She's a little teeny tiny thing. And she's not only small and short, she's tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, she's teeny tiny. I prayed to the Lord for petite. Well, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's nothing small about that mouth. Boys. Do this, do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't talk that way. Oh, what's your tone? Watch that tone.
Women can cut you in half with their tongue.
Women are an amazing gift of God.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was just us guys, we'd be eating off of orange crates. Dirty sheets.
We would be shooting each other.
Slopping around.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's just...
It would be a dismal world indeed.
Yeah, they're like the palette. They add color to otherwise a black and white world.
That's true. True enough.
My world was black and white. Nothing was happy or bright till you came into my life.
You know Randy.
Randy.
Randy, my Randy.
Oh, is he okay?
Had a heart attack.
Wow, is he okay?
He's okay now, but he had a heart attack.
When?
About a week ago.
Randy is a ridiculously amazing individual.
Yeah.
He fought for this country in Vietnam, right?
In Orange, in Iraq.
Orange, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Agent Orange. And then, so we were having a flood here, if you remember, a few years ago, and we were going to put all these sandbags out back. Well, if you have sandbags delivered, you always think, you know, you cannot imagine how heavy they are. I could not move a sandbag an inch. That's how heavy they are. I felt totally embarrassed. We hired, you sent him over, we hired him. He just picks up those sandbags like it's nothing, plops them down around our door so if the river overflows and behind us, it doesn't get us, you know.
Yeah.
And
you know, before the war, he was the foreman at Complete Electric.
Really?
He was the head man.
I just got a call from the owner of Complete Electric yesterday,
And
asking me if they can rent this. He has got some people in, they're patriotic people that have some sort of a group up there, and they want to see if they could rent the studio to do their podcast.
what's his name?
Garrett.
Garrett?
Yeah. Garrett. He's
Because
been.
I'm trying to get them to do some work for me. It's pretty difficult.
I get they're the best. And Garrett, he's a very disciplined individual. He's a young man, Spanish young man, very, very successful, truly humble, and a real disciplinarian. I mean, like they run that. Yeah, if you want me to, I'll text him. You know.
No, that's okay. Let me find
Not right
out.
now, but later.
Yeah.
What do you need him to do? One
Put
of your storehouses or something?
the condo. I need to get a dedicated line from the microwave to the control panel.
Well, that's the condo you have over down the street here.
Yeah.
Can I tell the story without mentioning names? So anyway, so there's this lady in town here who could not afford to have stay where she was. So he doesn't tell me, and they're both my dear friends. She's a youngster. She's only 91, right?
Yeah.
And so David goes and buys a condo, which would normally lease for $1,500 a month, and you give it to her for like a few $100s. And she stays there for years, and finally she's got to move out to a place where she had a slight stroke, doing much better now. But anyway, so David decides to sell it. You get no nibbles on it, so he keeps it. And now the Lord sends somebody, and you're getting the better part of $2,000 a month. You know, I mean, just the Lord's blessing you for what you did. The reason I bring this up is, At your age, it doesn't matter. And you know, like I tell stories sometimes, you know, and you say, "Oh, you're going to lose your blessing." Well, I don't care if it inspires other people to give. See, somebody might hear that you're doing that, and they need to step up. They need to step up. I wrote this. I wrote this morning at about 5 a.m. And
Were you up all night?
I'm always waking up and doing stuff. So here's this thing. Let's see. I don't know what you think, but I love to give. This is from my book. We Only Grow in the Valley, and this is the title of this little chapter. I love to give little surprises, which I do, but I've noticed though my well-to-do friends acknowledge these acts of thoughtfulness, they're far more appreciated by my friends who are either at a lower spectrum on the economic scale or they are quote unquote poor in spirit, meaning they know they have foibles and failings and have need of relationships with God and their friends. They respond with joy. The regular folks respond with joy, thankfulness, and celebration over the little moments in life that really make for a truly abundant life. I call these other folks having the poverty of wealth. It blinds people from the realization that they are in fact needy and fall short. Bank accounts can't hug you or listen to you when you're in a valley.
Good, very good.
Well, it is true. Like like I'll meet somebody new, and you can tell immediately the guy's young, successful guy, and I'm like a puppy dog. I love people, and I can tell. Oh, he's nice, but it's perfunctory. He has no intentions of walking and having. He doesn't need my relationship. He's got millions of bucks, so he's impervious. He's isolated. He's got a wall around him. And it's true. People. That's why the Lord says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for the kingdom of God belongs to them." Meaning, do you know you have need of a relationship with God?
Well, everybody does, no matter what the civilization.
Well, He created us to have fellowship. Imagine you're alone. You always talk about the universe, right? And how it works and the sun rising and everything. Okay. So imagine you're lonesome out here in space. Do you know that the world we know and this universe travels 2 million miles every day and goes into a neighborhood where we've never been before? Think how spooky that is. In the black of eternity in space.
Yeah.
So we're 2 million miles from where we were yesterday at this time. We've never been here before. Talk about insecurity, huh?
Yeah.
So, I mean, God's in the universe, right? William Shatner went up last year. Remember, he went up with the guy that owns Virgin Airlines. They went up in that rocket ship. He says, and he did all those TV shows about being Captain Kirk. He said he suddenly had never had felt such utter depression, depravity, loneliness. He was scared to death. It was horrible out there in outer space. He felt this profound loneliness. Okay, so you're God. What are you going to do? Now you create the angels, but they bow down to you. Bow down, they bow down. Stand up. They do what you go and do my bidding. They go and do his bidding. What am I going to do here? I know I'll make man a little lower than the angels, but he'll have free will. And they can either choose to be my eternal friend or not. And there you have it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The way you say it, it makes sense, Rev.
Reverend Rhett, right?
Reverend.
Yeah, now we're going to do something religious now. We're going to have a cold action. On my back.
Well, that was very good, very thoughtful.
Well, I've always looked at you and wondered why God has blessed you so abundantly. You have a ridiculously marvelous life. I mean, up until your late 90s, having the clarity of mind that you have, reading 3 books a week.
I don't read 3 books.
No, you do.
Oh.
Watch, I'll call you this week and we'll find out. I go in there, you have all the latest top-selling books. And I go, oh, this new one by...
X.
Oh, have you read those yet? The one my friend wrote? What's his name?
Elon Musk?
His father was a lawyer in Albany. Oligarchs, the control oligarchs.
Oh, yeah.
Did you finish it or no?
I am halfway through it, and it's so disturbing I didn't want to read it anymore.
It is disturbing. Barbara said the same thing.
Yeah.
I knew Seamus when he was 2 years of age. Now here he is, this world-selling author and everything. But he did all the research. Now their family is friends with the Bush family. And notice in that book he didn't pick on the Bushes. But that's
You
because
knew him?
Oh yeah, I know Seamus. Yeah, very well. I know his dad, and we're friends for lifetime friends.
Really?
Yeah, and then the Bush. As a matter of fact, last time I was there, Dora Bush up in Kennebunk, they have a summer place up there. Dora Bush has been on my show, and she came over and said hi. And as a matter of fact, she said she was re-releasing a book, and I was supposed to do an interview with her, but I never called her back. And the last time I went there, I went to church with Senior and Barbara, and we sat in the front row of the church. They brought the seats outside, and then all the people were clamoring over him, and then he was in a wheelchair by then. And I'd met him a couple times, and I'd always wanted to interview him. And one time I went up and I had a booking to be interview him in Kennebunk, and they have that little island out there, almost an island, peninsula. But anyway, and Katie Couric had been nasty to him on the Today Show. So I got to the stand. The Secret Service says no interviews with any press. He is ticked off. Okay, so now it's years later, and I'm at the church together, and I go around the side, and after all the people clamor over, he's by himself, and he's over near his car with the Secret Service. So I went up and said, "Hey, how you doing?" He says, "How's Bert?" Bert was alive in town. That's the former White House physician. I said, "Bert's doing great. How you doing?" We talked, and he's always got something funny to say. And you know what? I shut down, though. I don't know. I didn't ask him for an interview. I should have asked him for an interview.
You were in awe.
Well, nervous and awe, and I don't know. Sometimes I revert back to the very painfully shy kid that I was. And it's sometimes like if you're going to a party or something, or there's a mixed crowd, that side of me will try to revert back to that fear, and I have to jump over the hoop and go, "Hey, what's your name? How are you?" And then as soon as I do that, people are friendly.
Yeah.
Generally, people are good. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about? Let's see. Vivek has left the race, and of course, I predicted all along he will be chosen to be the vice president. He never said anything disparaging against Trump. Never, not once, ever, ever, never, never. He was his advocate. And sort of represented Trump when Trump didn't
And
show
here
up.
in today's paper, they say Elsa Stefanik is a candidate to be his vice president. I doubt it.
Who was that?
The one that interrogated the presidents of the different colleges and asked them if there was any program to. What was it? There was any program that would stop anti-Semitism on the college campuses, and they said they didn't know.
Well, Trump's daughter, who I met.
Listen to me. They said they didn't know if there was anti-Semitism in their college.
Well, she quit Harvard, and the other one quit the Pennsylvania. Right now, we got one.
They didn't quit. They were fired.
Yeah, thank God.
And the one that interviewed them is the one that they said could be his.
Oh,
running.
it's a she.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a marvelous idea. We need a tough female in there. It's time.
I don't know.
The female that's in there now is, what's the matter with her? She must be on drugs. She's always just giggling and laughing like ridiculous. What's with that?
Well, she's a replacement for Joe
We
in case
better hope
anything
not.
happens to Joe.
We better hope not. We better hope not.
Well, it wouldn't be anything different because they tell him what to do. They'll just tell her what to do.
Not one Democrat voted for the Emancipation Proclamation. The Democrats started the KKK, and yet people of color refuse to open up their eyes. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. What a lie.
Yeah.
What a liar. That guy's a liar. He said he was in the top of his class. He was in the top of his class. He was in the bottom. Then he said he had 3 degrees. When Sam Donaldson approached him in 1988 when he was running for the presidency, he had to quit because Sam Donaldson said, well, it shows right here you only have 1 degree. Oh, I forgot. Joe Biden. So you know what he does? The liar hangs around and people forget.
I don't forget. You don't forget. A lot of people don't forget. But a lot of people did enough to vote him in.
Yeah.
And there's
So anyway-
people that will vote Democrat no matter
And then
what.
there's people say that Trump hates Jews. Trump hates Jews. His daughter,
Married a Jew and converted.
yeah, and what's her name?
Ivanka.
Ivanka. That's the one I met.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the party at her mother's house. Yeah. Very nice, very intelligent young lady.
Very-
I mean, you can just when somebody speaks to you, you can tell if they're kind of looking down at you or something, you know. And I told you that story. I asked her how she stays so thin. She only eats 4 hard-boiled eggs a day, and she only eats the whites. She told me. We were at this party, and I said, to myself, I didn't say out loud. I said, "You can keep your private jets. I'm not going to live off the whites of eggs." You know,
her husband was primarily responsible for the Abraham Accords. That's where he brought the Saudi Arabias and the Jews together, and some other Arab nations. And they're called the Abraham Accords. The first time in history that anything like that had been accomplished. It was all done by him.
well, he's a very smart young man.
Yeah. He's in real estate. His
And-
brother's in real estate.
And they're
His
trying to
father was in
they're
real
trying to
estate.
peg this thing on Trump that he said his condo was worth more. Everybody says their house is worth more.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter.
You know, around here you tack another 500,000 or $1 million on your house, and then they'll come down. They'll fight you down because they're going to fight you down anyway, right?
My understanding is if there's no loss, there's no crime. In other words, if I want to
There's
sue
no
you,
loss. There is no loss.
if I want to sue you, and you didn't do anything wrong.
Let me ask you this: in the Bible, there's a story of Mordecai, and these people came against the Jews, and they built these gallows, or not gallows. What do you call them? Guillotines, for these guys to be killed, right? And as it turns around, in the end, the bad guys, ended up on their own guillotines and lost their heads, which sometimes happens in life, it seems. So, do you think somehow God's hand will turn this around? Usually, tell me something. You've lived 97 years. I've noticed bullies. If you stand up to a bully, studies show 90% of the time they will turn face. Most people don't stand up to them. And also I've noticed this in life. The first one to strike against, usually in the long run, ends up the loser. I don't know why. It just seems to be some law of reciprocity that prevails in the universe. Would you concur with that?
Absolutely.
You've seen that. So I'm not off. I'm not off the rail here.
No.
I don't know. And so I'm waiting. I think, and another thing about the Lord is he's waiting very patiently through all this. Just like he got that guy in to be the Speaker of the House. He's God's man.
Yeah.
That means a real Christian. You know? He has a code. He's soft-spoken, intelligent. I mean, you know, you can't refute him or contest him when he speaks softly and has the knowledge.
And he does that.
Which is amazing. How did that guy get to be Speaker of the House?
Out of nowhere, they come up with this man. It was extraordinary.
Look at Winston Churchill. He was hated. They wouldn't listen to him. He said the Germans are up to something. They don't tell them anymore. Planes or something. They're doing something. They said, "Get out of here, you old fart. Why don't you retire? You're too old." He was only in his 60s at the time. And the next thing you know is, you know, with who's the guy that went and made the peace, signed the peace agreement with
Neville
Hitler?
Chamberlain.
Neville Chambers, that weakling, and he had to step down. And then, what's his name steps up. He was the best of the worst. They figured they could have for a what do you call prime minister. And look, he walked into history. This happens with such frequency by God's hand. I love the fact that he does that.
Well,
He says, "I have chosen the foolish things of this world to confound those that are wise in their own eyes."
you see, Jamie Dimon, you know who he is?
No.
He is the president of J.P. Morgan. And I think it's called Morgan Chase now. But the most successful banker in the country. Okay? other banks are having problems. He has got a $50 billion profit, while other people are having trouble. He said the Democrats have to wake up and stop talking personalities. And remember, Trump identified the Chinese as a problem. He identified the various things. All were right. He says, you have to listen to a man that does, no matter what he says, look what he did.
Yeah. I talked to people. I said, don't you know how good he was for the economy?
Yeah.
He's got a big mouth, though. And as I said, people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. He comes off like he doesn't care. So I was talking to a psychologist the other day. I said, something happened to that man when he was young because he's a very nice person, but if you throw a pebble at him, he will crush you.
Yeah.
Somebody hurt him, and boy, he comes right to his self-defense. He takes care of that little boy, that hurt little boy inside him.
What does the psychologist say?
They agree with me. I'm just an armchair psychologist. I don't know anything. I don't know what I'm talking
Well, you
about.
said you were talking to a psychologist.
I know, but the reason I was asking to validate this because I just think this stuff up and didn't know it was valid at all. But they agreed.
And
it
they
seems
agreed.
that way. Yeah, it seems that way. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Why would he behave the way that
Well, you're an amateur psychologist, but extremely accurate.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, that's why I'm the most trusted man on radio today. Right?
No question about
Like
it.
I said, and folks, all you have to do to be the most trusted man on radio is be able to hire someone to say it.
Yeah, that's all. And I've said it with conviction.
Yes. Say it again right now. The most trusted.
The most trusted name in radio. No, the most trusted name in the airwaves is Mr. Palmer. Rhett Palmer.
Is that what you say?
Yeah.
Hold on. We can hear you again. Hold on. Let's listen.
Rhett Palmer.
The mayor of the airwaves is ready to go. Talking to people you want to know.
Can you hear it over there?
Face to face.
One-on-one. Get the story and have some fun
With Rhett Palmer.
And now, the most trusted name in radio, Rhett
Radio.
Palmer, the mayor of the airwaves.
The most trusted name in radio.
We're going to change it to the
You know,
airwaves.
we that's okay.
Well,
I still am on the radio down there. The only thing is at the Christian station. I
Okay.
got to hand it to the pastor. He says, well, you're not the mayor of the airwaves down here. Jesus is. And I was shocked when he said it. And I said, you know something? That's okay. I'll relent. I'll gladly give up my mayorship
Oh,
for
yeah.
the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah,
My replacement is Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Wow, so
I,
that's
think
who-
I think he can fill in for me very well.
Well, as I said, especially after Oceans asked me to be the voice of God 2 Christmases ago. After you play God, where do you go?
Yeah.
Forgive me. I think he's laughing. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I feel this little sense of anointing here, so he's
Uh-huh.
okay. I think God has a sense of humor. Don't
Oh, I
you?
believe that.
If he doesn't, I don't want to be in heaven with a bunch of,
What happens after now?
Puffed up people.
Now, Carol, who believes in nothing,
Carol believes in nothing.
said that she was watching a program about a young man that said he was reincarnated. He's 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "You're not my mommy. I have my other mommy." And so they show him 2 pictures of the one he says is his mommy and somebody else. And he says, "That's one." He said, "We used to play in the park. They show him 2 pictures of 2 different parks." He said, "That's the one." And it was the one where he lived. And, I mean, it was just extraordinary. So she said, "What are you going to do when you get to heaven? You're going to just hang around or you're going to come back?" And she said, "I don't want to come back," she said.
I don't know. The Bible says it's appointed once for man to die and then judgment. It also says not to entertain familiar spirits. So the demonic spirits can be very deceiving.
Aha.
So I don't know how much credibility to put in this young boy,
what they it ain't necessarily so. What they say in the Bible ain't necessarily so. Methuselah lived 900 years. Methuselah lived 900 years, but what's the good of living when no gal will give in?
Oh,
To
stop
no
it. All right,
man.
stop this. Oh, my word. I think it's time for you to go.
You're going to throw me out.
No, not yet. We have 4 more minutes. Do you want to say anything about world events?
Well, I think that the border is permeated every part of our society and every state because they've shipped these people in and they're mentally unfit. Some of them, they're murderers. I mean, look, just this week, a mentally unstable man, goes up and without provocation.
Oh, he's stabbing the people.
Stabbed 5 different people.
Yeah.
I mean, so what's he doing on the street? And do they have a place to put him? No, they don't. They've abandoned the mental health facilities because they wanted to cut the budget, but it cost them twice as much to have these people on the streets and also committing crimes, murder in some cases. In the front page of the New York Post, we have a woman who had 2 daughters. One was taken by fentanyl, and the other was taken by an illegal immigrant. Alien is what they call
That's
them.
crazy.
It's a sad thing. Very sad.
Victims of Joe's open border. One mom lost a daughter to fentanyl, the other to gangs. Both are victims of Joe's policies here.
There was a young man who was like an all-American boy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he took fentanyl once, dead. He didn't know it was fentanyl. 25 years old, all-American boy, and one little error, and he's dead. And that fentanyl is everywhere, pervasive everywhere.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do about it? Let's keep the borders open. We can't. The borders are fine. That Homeland Security says. Not true. Not fine.
Here's the guy that killed with the knife.
That's the guy who.
Yeah, with the knife.
Well, the fellow that he chokeholded was a convicted of I don't know how many long rap sheets, and everybody on the subway was happy that he was restrained, because if he wasn't restrained, he could have killed somebody else. And the guy just he tried to stop him. He didn't. It wasn't intentionally killing him. And intent is a big thing in law. What was your intent? Like Hillary Clinton, her intent is always to help the people.
People are going to take you seriously.
No.
They're not going to get the fact that you're joking.
No.
They won't know that.
No. If anybody that takes that seriously has got a problem. But anyway, that's all I can say for now, Mr. Palmer.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
And we have Pastor Charlie who's visiting from Albany, New York. And he's the pastor that when he was young, he went to somebody's house, I guess as a kid, and brought them groceries. And the little boy never forgot that he did it and sells his business for hundreds of millions of dollars and shows up and gives him a check for $1 million. This just happened recently.
Really?
And they hit the pavement down there, Charlie, and they feed the hungry and they clothe people and help people in prison.
The people he delivered the groceries to gave him $1 million?
Well, what happened is they were poor, and the little boy remembered that this guy brought them groceries. He's right out there now. He's just arrived. He's going to be.
Wow.
He's here. Isn't that a cool story?
Really?
It is.
Amazing.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back.
Right now, for $79, you can call Plains Dental Arts, 231-6004. It's all included for $79. The examination, the radiographs, the healthy cleaning. Okay, call Plains Dental Arts. Make your appointment right now, 772-231-6004. Takes care of gingivitis, takes care of halitosis, gives you a great healthy smile. You get a thorough examination. Plains Dental Arts, just south of the Village Beach Market on A1A. Again, $79 for the examination, radiographs, healthy cleaning, 231-6004. Call now, 772-231-6004.
The Rhett Palmer broadcast is brought to you by Complete Electric Complete Alarm. Get your generator checked now before the next hurricane strikes. Call the good folks at Complete Electric Complete Alarm. You'll be safe and sound when the next hurricane strikes. Call Complete Electric Complete Alarm.
Hello, residents of Indian River County. Recycling is all fun and games with the Solid Waste Disposal District's sorting game designed to test your recycling skills. Build your own digital park and earn rewards by placing material into the correct bins. You can even earn a certificate. To find this cool game, download the Carter's Corner app on your mobile device at Google Play or the Apple App Store, or visit indianriver.gov.
A.E. Stalls Real Estate and Associates is a hometown family company. Josh and Mandy Stalls, along with their two sons, have deep roots in this community. As a boutique brokerage, they are located steps away from Vero's beachside communities. They have a strong team of realtors, the tools, and experience to guide clients to the closing table. Helping clients feel confident in the buying and selling market is what they do. You can reach them at stallsrealestate.com, Facebook, or 772-800-8305.
Hi, I'm a golf enthusiast, and I love Big Shots Golf on US 1, next to Advanced Eye Care. I was at Big Shots recently and had a great time playing a virtual 18-hole golf course. Big Shots also serves really good food. The mini cheeseburgers are my favorite. I love the ice cream, too. For a fun time, bring your friends and family to Big Shots Golf on US 1,